And here it is, outside the location of the Mist Dungeon. So, there's another token.
The Black Forest reigned here. Its kingdom rarely invaded by those that live in the light. But it was called home by this mysterious Vorador. Legend told of a time when Vorador defeated Malek of the Seraphim. If such a man did exist, then he could perhaps be the key to defeating the Ward.
So that would, I could now just fly straight to Vorador's crib in the forest, but that would be quite unwise move to do, because there's plenty of handy power-ups on the way there. And also gives me a chance to show what the mist form does. It makes you practically immune to everything. This game's got plenty of this kind of almost broken abilities, although mist form is balanced by the fact that you can't do anything while having it. And there's trees and a big swamp area with plenty of buildings around here, which means that there's plenty of exploration to do, and the dark green area is dangerous murky swamp. Must be association of swamps with water which makes it dangerous for vampire to walk in. But there's plenty of trees to hack down and plenty of this dangerous swamp ground. So mist form is quite heavy seas use. Thank you, magic. Thank you, fountain with demonic vampire skull in it.
Your strength has increased for our blood essences.
Which of course means that now Kain can push even bigger rocks. But now let's just bring forth the mist form and see where's the next location to walk into. It's the... I think that, yeah, it's quite directly southeast of here. This over-screen map is just almost very effective ability. And the fact that Kain can also pick up items while he's walking around in mist form makes it even more useful. So another building with something in it. And a saving spot as well, but no, not going to use it now. Use it here. Yeah, Simon Templeman's that evil laughter is just such... You can see here there's some sort of sadistic joy he has.
This spell allows me to use blood from my own body as a weapon. When struck, my enemy's blood would flow from their bodies to fill me with life. 'Tis a risk, yet the rewards are a temptation.
And it was a spell Vorador used when he attacked the council, if you count that quite then impressive, now still quite crude-ish animation as what happened. But why would you use that when you can not spare your magic powers for the inevitable use of mist form and just blast out. I think he wants to suicide himself. And he did. Yeah, but luckily those big dollop things die quite easily. So I just... Did that open the door pathway? No, it did not. So it would be time to show what this spell does. Yep, it allows long distance feeding. And since it could be a good idea if it would basically have some real function and use. But just... But some couple of skeleton critters which were quite harmless when you look about it. Some extra magic power because, well, with combination of repel and some flays, those magic spewing enemies die quite easily. And those exploding critters also die quite nice and easy. So this place had just a basic projectile attack spell with a gimmick, but using attacks isn't always, better say, using magic attacks isn't always the most smart practical move to employ. So once again, just take the mist form and keep walking forward. And all these dungeons would be and the treasures within would be lost if you wouldn't wouldn't walk. So the game is really heavily encouraging you to use your walk feet, explore the place, get more rewards. And let's now make use of the saving spot. Interestingly, I noticed that the loading break, they're always annoying. That's why they are always made to be used all kinds of trickeries to hide them, like long corridors and all that. But at least in this game, you can still predict when it's gonna come, like now. Yeah, it was something like 3 to 4 seconds. Quite long, but quite annoyingly.
This spell allows me to enslave my enemies, giving me control of their bodies. When I release my grip, their bodies will shrivel and die as I displace their souls and replace them with my own.
Yep, charm person ability. Which also kills the enemy. But only works on humans. Quite handy. And this one actually sees quite, you could say, it sees use more than you would basically expect it to see. And there was a couple of more enemies. So let's just spray one of them dead, and that guy to join the ranks of the undead. And of course the enemies can do quite a hefty damage. And I would say that the music in this game is good. Yes, of course, it's good music, well composed and all that. But it has I would say, a slight problem of being composed for there being not much variety in this music. Lovely scream of death. And another lovely scream of death, but this time of different kind. And Kain can tank through these spike balls of death quite easily. Regular human stomping around does not do it that well. But luckily those balls move with very strictly defined patterns, so it is easier to just walk around with these much more frail human flesh carrying person. Just got some loot and drop the enchantment and run away. Just leave the whole nonsense behind. And this trick would see quite lots more use. Do I see another location where I might need to use this ability? Yes, I do. Take the mind control. And get killed. And get killed again.
The heart of darkness.
But eat the heart and just continue. If that was the only reason to come here, I would say that was a quite pointless little endeavor to travel here to this spot. But what can you do? Sometimes you just walk right in. Yep, control mind, quite handy ability. And interestingly, it's also used as parts of some puzzles. Although not many, but some. So once again, just take the mist form and now walk in the light of the day. And instead of that place going, I'm gonna check out the cave first. Looks like it's another one of these spirit forges. I'm not gonna even go further, but I did unlock it. It counts as a secret and all that kind of nonsense. And to get a golden trophy for those who hunt it, you have to find 50 of them out of 100, which is nicely, you could say, lenient. You can quite easily get that 50, assuming you're just gonna hunt down some secrets. And another little location for something extra special, but not going to make use of the saving spot. Actually, yes, I am. Even small bits of progress is good to save, even though it takes about less than a minute. Hard to say. didn't use stopwatch to measure, and also how you gonna count it. But it's a real nice thing that the Kain's magic power slowly regenerates over time. And another place where they keep prisoners. How in hell so many places have people chained to walls to be suffer and die? I don't know. It tells that Nosgoth is particularly unpleasant location. But this cavern looks very, you could say, large and sinister. That enemy had a open that one, and because the graphics make it look like that there would be these deep pits dug to the ground that would have these lights burning in them. But God opened the little paths forward. There seems to be quite many of these kind of little pathways around here. But I wonder, is it a case of buttons being specific buttons need to be pressed kind of deal again? Apparently it is, so time to bring out the wolf form and grab some extra magics. Now, yeah, I wonder, was it just all had to be green? Only green ones to be active. Yes, it was out of the wolf form.
The sword ravages flesh with teeth of metal and flame, leaving only scorched remains.
And this is, I would not call it the ultimate weapon of the game, but it is in practical sense the best weapon you get the game. Upgrade to a sword, causes lots of damage, and also lights Kain around him. That's a little just a visual trick. Makes a awe-inspiring fiery effect. Yeah, Kain is a pyromaniac. And also it got the benefit of being just one-handed. So in practice you don't need any. Iron sword is now completely well, the iron sword is now completely obsolete. You're never gonna need to use it again in any context. But of course, when you have, but the axes and mace still can see some situational use. But in general service weapon, nothing defeats flame sword. As in, it does more damage, and more of this big huge swamp to cross, but this time there's much less there's much less about area to cross and just much more of a level of just follow the path of going forward. And even though there are places where the swamp just makes it impossible to just walk through. So let's just eat a heart.
Strange that Vorador would choose a dwelling so perilous to him. The swamp could only offer a vampire hazard and pain.
Hell, even Kain notices that, yep. But then again, it's dangerous area to vampire, but it's also very inhospitable to humans as well. Mosquitoes, difficult to walk, movement is difficult. Swamps they generally don't enjoy much of a, you could say, good reputation with humans or humanity. Inhospitable or disease-bearing insects.
Vorador's keep was hidden deep within the turgid forest, nestled among vines and creepers that clung desperately to its dark, weathered stone.
Yep, meaning he's got a big, awesome, nice-looking crib. Time to pay a visit. He might be something like a recluse. Place looks opulent. Let's just save the progress. There will be lots of need to go forward. That's a nice little rug.
The luxury with which this Vorador surrounded himself was impressive. His wealth would shame the haughty nobles of my former court.
I would wonder, was Kain himself some sort of high level of noble or some low level of noble? As in that, was it something like a prince or duke or something like that? Or just a low level, something like a ninth level of grand title?
That this vulgar display of fortune remained undisturbed was a testament of fear's dominion over greed. Their charms were almost visible through the gauze of their clothing, yet beauty such as theirs delivered only death. For these were Vorador's pets, nothing more than beasts, slave to his will and the easy prey he provided. Vampires, all of them, held in thrall by one stronger still.
Judging by Kain's description, Vorador has figured out way to spawn more of his kind. And as such, isn't particularly picky about what he's gonna do. Damn it. But interestingly enough, once you put on the mist form, the basic abilities of your spell or repel gets dispelled.
The darkness was soothing, and in the distance, sharp and sweet, came the scent of spilt blood.
Oh, damn it. Just a quick change back to normal to mist form, allowing to walk right past through that. But when there's need to make all the mind control spells, it might be bad. And the energy bank doesn't really help with that problem, although that one does. And the music is appropriately very grand to this situation. Interestingly, in fiction in which the vampires do have societies of their own, clubs or encounters, meaning that basically interact with each other in social, civilized context. Basically, feeding on another vampire is considered extremely serious crime in such, and also attacking other vampires is similarly considered extremely severe offense in something like punishable by imminent death or banishment from all the social circles kind of thing, which most likely would be quite bad thing for vampires to deal with. So, and the fact that well, I guess Vorador doesn't mind somebody else eating his lunch.
Vorador's pantry, a vampire's feast. Like cattle awaiting slaughter, men and women dangled from the rusted hooks upon the dungeon walls. Blood and viscera frosted the dirt and stone. The abundance nearly overwhelmed me, for blood is the life.
Oh, well, at least that kind of locations. Now that was an annoying.
My enemies are quite vicious, and the Chaos armor extracts from them a heavy price for their bloodlust. The blows are meant for me, but it is their bodies that carry the wounds.
Now, if there is several broken abilities in this game, Chaos armor is, you could say, the ultimate broken ability. Enemy attacks damage them as well. Which means that combined with repel, the enemies attack Kain, get damage, and Kain doesn't get damage. But it only applies with the physical attacks. So
Chaos.
You can say that Kain has now gotten the most overpowered combination of abilities. Just make yourself invulnerable, but do not cause damage by enemies just attacking you. And of course, here's the plenty of enemies, monsters dying to this ability. Yep. I would say it's quite hilariously effective ability. Which of course, well, Well, there's one more, you could say, target for mind control ability. How do enemies know that another enemy is under mind control? I don't know. I guess they didn't want their ability to be as horrendously broken as it could be. Or at least not as much horrendously broken as it could be. And just getting some extra piece of magic. Just in case. There's nothing bad in getting some extra magics. Yep, just walk to the spikes and die, no problem, especially with Hearts of Darkness. And temporary invincibility they give you.
Oh, to bathe in the blood of others. This spell is especially useful in the face of multiple combatants. Beware those with tainted blood.
And blood shower. The ability to make basically upgrade to blood gout, which was the spell that sucked blood from one enemy. This one sucks from enemy. It's a screen nuke attack, gives you health as well. Quite powerful, although not that powerful.
And upon the wall, scribbled in blood, were the words, Manus Celer die.
I don't know what was the purpose of that little detail, but it's nice.
The room I had entered had but one purpose. The torture and execution of human beings for the sadistic pleasure of its engineer. Blood was splattered on every surface. The dread and agony of victims past still echoed through the lethal walls. A symphony of terror and agony filled the air. Then, from amidst the cacophony of screaming souls came the perverse laughter of the vampire himself.
Yep, Vorador is quite wasteful. Yep, and of course, enemies don't have any idea about, hey, you shouldn't attack vampire who reflects damage back at you. That kind of little forethought doesn't appear to their minds. But can I walk through the curtains? No, I couldn't. There was something stops me. Annoyingly.
Amongst Vorador's possessions, I found an ancient chronicle. Long ago, vampires grew in such number so as to capture the attention of the Circle. The Order of the Sarafan, or the Angels of Light as they were called, was instated to counter the menace. Thus, the Vampire Purge began.
And that would be, you could say, when it's a matter of things happening in this game. The Vampire Purge is...
Sanctuary.
Which spell I need? Oh yeah, control mind, and instead of light.
Blood shower. The tapestries wove a tale of chaos ignited, an orgy of fire and pain. Undead beings with rotted skins caked with sulfur and ash beckoned at me through a burning abyss. Their tortured stares were a testimonial to the price of weakness. Their fate would not find me. Yet blood calls to blood.
well, opened the door and still getting forward in this opulent display of greed and wealth, and well, enemies just hit you and die. Chaos armor is just that powerful and useful. So, once again saved, going forward. Seeing what's going on. Well, looks like a dining room, so...
In the bowels of that black forest, I found something worse than hell. A vision of what I was becoming.
It's not often I see one of our own, especially one as young and foolish as yourself. Nonetheless, drink. Drink deep and indulge your gift.
Gift? Vorador thought my curse a blessing. That we were gods. That mortals offered their blood as sacrifice so that we could enjoy our supernatural powers. And somewhere, deep inside my new self, I knew he was right. That mortal dreams were prayers. Prayers to us. Begging us for power. I pondered this as the decadent old fool prattled on about his past. A boorish account of how he defeated Malek of the Seraphim and took his vengeance on the Circle of Nine for supporting the Seraphim holy war to exterminate us.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses! After slaughtering 6 of the sheep, I defeated their pathetic little shepherd, Malek. Since then, our kind has not bothered to feed cattle, except to feed. And I suggest you do the same. Meddling with the affairs of man can do us no good. Seraphim witch hunts are much too tedious to concern ourselves with. Am I understood, Kain? Good. Take this ring. If you ever need assistance, it will summon you. Despite your youthful arrogance, you amuse me, Kain. It's such a pity to lose you to this. Now be gone.
Well, looks like the encounter was much more civilized than expected. But there's a little side path to walk through. See what's going on here in mist form. And that's a mist trap. They are quite annoying little things which yeah, just stomp right through there.
Of darkness.
Stomp right through the obstacles and all that nonsense to get through the loot. But let's take what he gave.
My visit with Vorador only strengthened my resolve. His power uncontested by mortals, he had fallen to another enemy. Decadence has claimed itself many a great warrior.
And looks like Vorador was very much claimed by that. But then again, when you are immortal and he's... The writing of the Soul Reaver series is... It's... There's no denying that it is of good quality. But it's just the fact that it's kind of inconsistent. At one phase, slaughter of the circle by Malek by Vorador happened 5,000 years ago. In some others, it was 500 years ago. So there's a little bit of a strangeness thing. But 6 of the circle were killed by Vorador, but there were new arranged for them, and there would be later info who those 3 were. Malek, of course, was one of those new survivors, and this led back to the save room of beneath the Vorador's dining room. Well, and I already solved this room earlier. And it's gonna teleport out of here. Into another saving spot, which I will use now. And leaving a cave with a suspicious looking side path, which leads to, of course, to a bat signal or travel beacon, whatever word you want to use. Fast travel system activation, and Kain's solilog way.
And so I left that place, with clear knowledge of what sort of monster I would become if I let my curse consume me, and with an ally for the future.
No, the ally was for the future is thing, although Kain's idea about the curse would be changing because, well, it would take a lot of time and all that. Through the franchise, Kain's character would mature quite a lot, but you could say evolve.
A triad congregates at the roof of the world, Kain. A plot to twist the land, to shape the world. North is where your vengeance lies.
Well, that looks something like a really unpleasant looking location, so that would of course naturally mean that it's where Kain's about to head. Let's just gallop in the more lupine form, because why not? No need to bother with the trees either, just no need to no bother reason to hack them apart. And let's go and observe the city. See what's there. Well, plenty of trees are on the city, but nothing you could say particularly of interest. But let's just transform into more human form and see what's going on.
In my travels, I learned much about the legend of Janos Audrin. Here in this quaint pastoral village of Ustenheim, that dark enemy was born. Janos preyed upon its peasants until he was finally hunted down and executed.
And of course, it would be spoilers for the later games. Janos Audrin would appear in later games, but he would be, you could say, slightly different than what the how it is. It would be he would be written in this one. And why would this house have this sinister music? I don't know. But there's there would be all kinds of things around here. That door actually would lead to a secret, but I can't really remember what was its activation. This game has some of those secrets are something that the switch or at the completely non-related location opens another location. So which are, I would say, they are not easy to guess, and they can also be really annoying to figure out. So just jump over this obstacle. But I do say that the Kain's animation frames are quite pleasant in the sense that they are numerous. Having more animation is always a good thing, at least in, well, not for the animator, because who has to do the job, but for a viewer of the finished product, it is always a good thing to have more animation frames than not. Although a small amount of animation frames can work very well if the if it works with what is needed. There really is no need for big number of animation frames, but that does vary a lot. And there's just one more building to study. Nothing really special or interesting, just some magic power-ups and collectibles. And the map also shows that the city is just a little bit of a, you could say, in a gap or valley. But interestingly enough, there's no quite few games actually do remember to show means of livelihood in cities and all that, which is to say something like farms or job places. Basically, these cities, well, they have their own design, which is not at all realistic.
The poor wretch was warped beyond recognition. To think it was once human.
Alright, that's annoying. Bring out the mist.
Dark magic, things half insect and half mammal, human torsos grafted onto abominations of the flesh. Sick as it was, I couldn't help but admire its creator's ingenuity.
Well, going to the cave, having to deal with pests. And if the blood meter has gone green, means that Kain is poisoned. Something bad went to his blood. Yeah, that would be handy. And of course, the fact that enemy locations are kind of repositioned makes it more convenient to just walk through these battered landscapes and not even bothering to fight with all these enemies. There's many of them and they are annoying and they are dangerous, and it would be just waste of time, so I'm not gonna do that.
If it could be said that a land descended into madness, it would be an accurate account of Dark Eden. A garden of horrors, seeded with thick perversion of nature's design. I knew that this Dark Eden I had trespassed upon would continue to grow until all of Nosgoth was consumed.
Oh, yeah. That's, you could say, it would be bad, at least for quite a big amount of population. Just burn those things. And annoying that this might be one of the few locations in the game where the use of axes is something like well, you need them that often that it would be prudent to just equip them.
Magic seethed and shifted. I watched the dome of energy as it expanded, absorbing and creating, consuming life, and leaving behind only a twisted parody.
Yep, some sort of evil sorcery things are happening right now, which is to say, twist life to another perverse forms. That's what the evil wizards always tend to do. Why? Well, I guess it's part of job description. And I got the warning of that recording's about to end.
Unharmed. It seemed the magic only preyed on things that were alive and pure. Or perhaps it simply decided that I was twisted enough.
Well, there are lots of things around here to walk around, but I think I'm gonna end this episode right here. And I'll see you next time. See ya!